So you know what has been trending today. The minority in Parliament today staged a walkout of Parliament to protest against the swearing in of the new MP for Ayawa's West Wuogon constituency, describing the violence that characterized the by-elections there as state-sponsored. Now, the minority MPs carried placards with inscription "Bloody Widow" and later marched to the police headquarters to demand action on what they describe as brutalities against NDC supporters. Take a look.
Not at all, not at all. It doesn't speak well of us at all. A country that's had its independence 61 years ago. I think it's very bad. It's very bad. Though there were some vandalism in the election, but then the fact that the electoral commissioner at the end of the day declared that woman as the elected MP, I think she's good enough to go. So you walking out doesn't change anything. There are so many ways to solidarize with the people, to help those who were vandalized, but then walking out of Parliament, it doesn't change anything. It has nothing to do.
Okay, so first of all, I think NDC is a political body on its own. And what I can say is that that is what they have decided as a political party based on the result that came out of the elections, considering the violence and any other thing that went on. So that is a decision from the party members in Parliament. So I don't think this is something that the whole public should consider as a mess that they are creating in the system. We should look at it from the very foundation, where the problem evolved from, right from the beginning of the election to when the results were announced. How fair was it? That is where we should be looking at it from.
The issue about the minority, walking out of Parliament because of the just ended by-elections at Ayawaso Wuogon, to replace the late MP. These are politicians. I don't even know what to say about them because they are always taking us for granted. And for me, they don't seem to be serious people. Once you see them pushing an agenda, it is for a selfish gain. The aim or the objective of the opposition party was to win that seat, and that of the incumbent was to retain the seat. So we realized there was some kind of conflict, here and there. So if they think or suggest that the elections were not indeed free and fair, and it is indeed proven beyond reasonable doubt, they can still call for, a rerun by election or something of the sort. So I don't want to say much about these are politicians because for me, I don't see them to be serious people.
Well, for them, honestly, I find what they did really rude. And somebody will say I'm feminist for saying this, but then the whole charade, what they put up, they are saying with violence was associated with the by-election and what. But I don't fancy their action at all. I don't think they should be doing that. If they had a form of sanction or something, I think this should have been done in a better way, because them just getting up and going out of the house, it wasn't really nice at all.
Well, that was their opinion, though. That was how they were feeling. But the main thing is, they walked out because they thought she wasn't. She doesn't look like a member of Parliament. So I think what they did was right. Because why should they go fight, or why should they be beaten up and all that for voting and all that? I think what they did was so right. The government should see to that.
So from what Mahama said after the elections was conducted, that the NDC is ready to match boot for boot, they walking out of Parliament should send some welcoming signals to us that indeed they are not just talking, they are willing to go the extra mile to do whatever it takes to appease themselves.
And those were some comments from the streets. A lot more of your comments are on WhatsApp. And check out what we posted. The minority in Parliament today staged a walkout, and that has generated so many comments on Facebook. Let's start with Nana Boache, who says, good, it's a good call, but let's start from Chirpene Etua Talensi and let my vote count possession. Let's start from there. Let's find the national security operative who shot through the crowd in Chirpene, then Anita Disoso for running over for 4 people, with 2 dying. And he goes on and on and on. Abraham Stewart Marty says, incompetence group of companies, I wish any spirit of Sam George in them will receive slaps in the name of politics. Abeku Grifing Badin says, our leaders should be serious for once and stop this nonsense. Ghana is really sitting on a time bomb. And by Jeremiah, very unfortunate, he says, our parliamentarians need to respect us in the performance of their duties. These things wouldn't help anyone. And he says, hashtag widowhood is not a crime. And he says, bring back our tardy girls. Easy. Let's see what Amano Charles
we have
saying.
Bobby Big Boss says the minority portrayed a barbarous act by writing a bloody widow on the placards of the swearing in of Honorable Lydia Al-Hassan, willingly or unwillingly. Ma Lydia is a preferred MP to serve the people of Ayawaso, West Wogong. I have only one sentence for this minority, and here it goes. Kama has no deadline. Right, Edem says, just look at that. Why follow parliamentarians? Just enjoying the money and doing unnecessary things. Kojo Isaac says, Ghana, we have a problem. Charm says, people like this, no hope. Arizja says, oh, if that constituency presented this man as MP, sorry for GH, please, MP sit up. John Bintim says, marching to the police headquarters was legitimate, but the inscription on their placards, bloody widow, is lack of wisdom, because one of their own MPs too is a widow MP for Shayo Sudoku, Honorable Lindia Oklu. They should render an unqualified apology to all widows. And Enoch says, very good and legitimate walkout. This assault could have been on the speaker, so everyone has red blood. Respect every member of the House.
Now let's check out some of your comments on WhatsApp. And Walanyo in Akwecha says, incompetent minority are it again demonstrating their ignorance towards Lydia Al-Hassan for not recognizing her as MP. They can choose to call her all names. Surprisingly, heartless female MPs in the NDC couldn't kick against this. The revenge is the loss. Being a widow is not a crime. And let's check out this from Peter from Akuse Junction. He says, these politicians are just wasting everybody's time. May God save this country. And you have this one coming from, you didn't add your name. Okay, so Sir Obama sends from Pokwase, and he says, as they walked out of the chamber, having subjected the widow to ridicule and dishonor. Okay, so that's a bit too harsh. This one is coming from Agbeko Geshon from Tamale. He says, I think the minority are right because violence is free. And finally, Verimako Abaji from Jinji, he says the MPP boycotted the inauguration of a whole president and went ahead to waste 8 months of Ghana's time on a frivolous election petition in Supreme Court, and yet they are crying now. The NDC can't be part of a widow who secures a seat with the shooting of innocent Ghanaians. 2020 will be so interesting indeed. Those are some comments on WhatsApp. Now, 255 vehicles procured by Maslock have been left to rust away since 2016. Although they were procured under the Eswal Mahama administration, the current government paid $13,500,000 for the vehicles, which are yet to be used. How do you react to this situation?
Well, I think the buses should be given to the senior high schools because they lack buses, and most of the times you see people from different places. Somebody from Winneba will be attending a school in let's say Accra, and this is really bad. Taking car or boarding a car with their own money and all that is very, very bad.
They should unction them or give them out. They should unction them to the public. They should select maybe people in authority who are yet to receive some benefits from the government.
Well, we are having a bit of transport problem in the nation now. You hear drivers going on strike, and sometimes the transport fare is going up. For students like me, I think maybe they should put those trucks or those vehicles, they should put it to good use. The government should try and then look at the system right now and find something really effective that they can put it into. Because it being there, it's been bought with money, and it's our money. I don't pay tax though, but I'm sure the perspective things, but yeah, so it's our money. So they should find something to do with it. They should sit down, they are the experts, so they should look at the economy and find something that they can put this trust to for our benefits.
Okay, so that one, I think that a lot of people need jobs. And even that one, we need drivers. And students or schools. It can be distributed to the various schools for bus to be used at buses for maybe for the SRC, for inter-schools competition and all those stuff. So I think that it will help some schools and even some institutions in transportation and all those.
It's rather unfortunate. If only the government of the day purchased it on behalf of the GPRTU or to purchase it for the GPRTU, I think there can be a way to reduce the price in a way or the other that will help, something like a mutual relationship, something that will help both the GPRT and then the government of the day, since they are all working in hand for the people or for the benefit of the society.
So it calls for investigation. They should investigate into how the procurement was made and see if the prices were quoted right or not. That is what should be done.
So you heard there's some comments from the streets now, your comments on Facebook, and we posted this on Facebook. A lot of your comments are here. Let's start with Mightman. He says, my fellow Ghanaians, never in your life follow any political party to lose your life. Have you ever seen a certain politician's son or daughter at polling station? Okay, I guess he's still talking about our first issue. So Obama from Pokasi says, I'll personally go for 5 tomorrow to run my Uber service. Case closed. No one should comment again. And Godwin Kwame Frame says, I wonder why, with all these evidences, they still have the right to go in for a lawyer to defend them. Meanwhile, no human in his right senses will do such a thing. People like this just have to be sentenced straight up. And Zakli Mandela says, this government is a waste. Jonathan Kwao says, this country cry, what's wrong with us? Hey! And Jonathan Hazel says, I blame donor countries. Rich Love says, oh, this is nice and lovely. Really? And Nana JC says, if they don't need it, they should donate one to me to do commercial. And Nana Yabuesiama says, this is what you are best at. Always been left to rust without thinking through why it's been left to rust. Okay, yeah, sure. So what else will be the reason for leaving all these vehicles to rust? Israel, let's check out what Enoch and the rest are saying.
All right, so Enoch Injiribe says, so are we going or we are coming? And Eric, I move on to Eric, says, Brown Director is, not everybody is intelligent, check this. And Nanel says, funny Ghana. Richard EKBA says, you wake up early morning to queue and vote for the sake of exercising your civic rights. And when these politicians come, they steal and enter into horrible deals that ultimately gets the country ripped off. Once they are not changing, I've got to advise myself. Amagana weeps. And wisdom just goes A. And Deron says, so MPP calls it a fishy deal. Yet they went ahead to pay $13 million and allowed the vehicles to rust. For what reason? Princess Rebecca says, Ghana money. Hey.
All right, so after all the stress, the music man Kojo says he will on 14 February help you rekindle your love as he plays that lovely song you will request for your partner at the Kempiski Hotel. It's all contained in the Valentine package that your Superstation 99.7 FM is offering you with the Love Ride event on Valentine's Day. Ahead of that, we asked you to sing your favorite Kojo song.
You leve, be double power. You leve. Let me add here because I can start causing blindness. Thank you very much, Honorable. Miyantabana, came to my call, don't change. How what the meal? I'm not. Dianumai, Benjamin Coma, Odo. Adianumai, Benjamin Coma. Afra Franti. Can you help me? I love that. Yeah.
Afra Franti. Yeah. Oh, then I hope I just dream yeah. So that is what I can say for now.
And also my favorite for Dobeka Tamihuwe. And that'll be it for the Joy Interactive. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have a great one.
Thank you.